Thanks for coming on, Lyle. We appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you guys
Yeah,
for having me.
yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, so yeah, why don't you kind of like tell us your little background story about yourself?
Yeah. I had a great and still have a great life. Parents married, grew up in church, went to private school, was homeschooled before that. Dad's a pastor. They did all sorts of religious stuff in the church and doing that. I mean, my dad never missed a football game. I played sports in high school. My older brother did classical music in the Fort Worth Orchestra during high school. I had a younger brother that was in a band in high school. Grew up with four brothers and originally from Arlington, Texas. So
Okay.
I don't know what most people's story is as far as for like that, but I mean, I had a great. I've never heard my father cuss. My dad's never told me he's disappointed in me. I have and had a great family.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Great.
is good. Yeah.
yeah. My story just is,
Uh,
I don't know. I guess the disease of addiction. I don't really consider it a disease, right? But I
yeah.
mean, everybody's got their own different views on it and stuff. But I definitely think there's some principalities and spiritual things attached to it. And again, my religious beliefs are a lot different than most people. But if I
Yeah.
think of it as an entity in itself, it doesn't really give two craps. Can we cuss on here or no?
Absolutely,
You
for
want?
sure, man. Cuss all
Okay.
you want.
Say whatever you
It
want.
doesn't. You never know. It doesn't give a fuck where you came from, what you've done, who you are. Depression doesn't give a fuck about fame. It doesn't give about wealth. It doesn't care that you have your parents
No.
divorced, your parents married. It doesn't care that you got an education. Drugs don't care any. They don't give a shit, right? And I think my
Yeah.
life is a prime example of that. So yeah.
Yeah, I
Great.
totally. I think I agree with you. I mean, I truly believe that there is a spiritual sense to it, and it's
hmm
demons. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely
Everybody
gets a
calls it
hold of
something
you
different. And
quick.
go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I just said it gets a hold of you quick and so hard to get away from.
Yeah.
And, it's a few that do manage to get away from it. And yeah, it's a hard journey, but
Yeah.
100% worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm trying
what?
to. I've been working on some things as far as for articulating stuff, and I I still don't know in my coming up with things of which journey is harder, the one to dig yourself in the hole or one to get yourself out of it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm starting to believe in my experience, guys, that to get out of the hole is actually easier than it is to put yourself in. It just has that's what deception and deceiving does to you. It makes you think that it
Mm.
was an easy fall or a quick fall, and then it's going to be a rigorous, almost insurmountable mountain to climb to get out of it. And I kind of think I think that's probably the deceivingness of the entity or whatever it is, you know.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah. I
Yeah, you
agree.
definitely have to be on that level that you've had enough and you want to and change things up. And
Right? Yeah,
up
for sure.
until that point, you're stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What led you into like the getting into it? Like what? Like as an addiction? What got you into it? Like kind of tell your story.
Man, I mean, I partied in high school, and
Hmm.
I guess I was the one of the trouble kids in high school. I liked the
Hmm.
attention. I liked what it I mean, the attractive people where I was at were the people that I found attractive. Let's just say that, right? Because attracting is up to the eye of the beholder, right? So the kids that I thought were popular, the ones that I wanted to be around, they partied, they drank, the jocks, stuff like that. And so that was just kind of the appeal to me of the popular rock star. How can I figure out how to do this? Maybe you be rich, famous, popular, and can just live a fun life of partying, I guess. I guess that kind of led into it. Try to think, man. When I realized I was addicted, would have been 2009. Yeah, 2009. When I realized I was addicted, I had started doing Oxycontin,
Mm.
and me and my buddy were selling it. And I don't remember how old I am at the age of in 2009, 22 years old, something like that. And we're selling Oxycontin and we're doing it all the time. So since we're selling it, we don't know we have a problem because we have it all the time. So there's no withdrawal. So if there's no withdrawal, for me, there's no addiction. And then wanted to stop. I got in trouble and was like, I'm done, and quit for 42 days. It was like the worst 42 days of my life. Tried to detox on my own. It was horrible. And then from that on, about 2009, 2010, I guess it just continued to escalate. I stopped doing opiates in 2015, and I used to cling to that and try to and deceive people, right? I'm clean off of opiates. I quit doing heroin, right? That was a great story for people. But no
Mm,
one knows that
yep.
well, people still know I'm drinking, but people don't understand the dynamics of it. But I want to tell them I was shooting up coke and methamphetamine on the weekends. And I guess, because of course you're not going to tell people that on a date. You're going to brag about that you quit doing heroin. You're not going to tell somebody that you're shooting up meth last weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I don't know. I hated it and I loved it. But I'm gonna have to say, in this last year and journey, a little over a year of my life now, I've had to come to the terms with the evidence points that I loved it, regardless of how much dislike or not. And now, if you want to ask what did I love about the disease or about addiction, man, we can go into all sorts of stuff to trigger people. The taste, the feeling, the buzz, the rush. I mean, even a little bits of the paranoia, the locking your I mean, all of it, man. So that probably took on full force, really, if I can look back now, probably 2020 COVID. That's when a new level of addiction with stimulants, cocaine and methamphetamine and the needle really took full blast hold and really changed the dynamics of heroin using to when I went to stimulants. That just kind of took over a different beast, I guess, in 2020. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and it seems all surround around 2020, like when the
right.
COVID strike it, like totally like went crazy. The people just started getting addicted, and yeah,
Going
Yeah, I thought
hard
I was gonna
into
be
it.
the
yeah,
restaurant shut down. I thought I was gonna be Pablo Escobar, and I'm gonna sell cocaine to everybody that's in this town, and they're all on their stimulus checks, and I'm gonna be rich, and it's gonna be the easiest money ever. And I never was able to re-up without half a front ever. And for 9 months,
oh
it
my,
never happened. So I always had half
wow.
the money for the re-up, and then I had to be
Yep.
fronted the other half, and it just kept going, kept going, kept going, right? It was never maybe twice in 8 months, I had the full amount to re-up with. So it's never making money, ever.
Yeah, exactly. Just
So
feeding your addiction, right?
that's it, man. That's it. And losing
Yeah.
money, like at a death rate of just purging credit cards and paying bills with credit cards and rent with that, and then any cash that I have is going to drugs. So yeah,
Yeah.
2020 is where it
Yeah.
started. It just turned into a new animal, I guess, really.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, paying Peter to pay Paul, eh?
Yeah. And going into
Yeah.
2020, see, I got clean in 2015. Like I told you, I stopped doing opiates. And when I got into
Yep.
recovery at that time, and I was in Narcotics Anonymous. So I participated in Narcotics Anonymous from 2015 to 2018, 3.5 years. I'm pretty sure it
Mhm.
was June 24th of 2015 to December 24th of 2018. So 3.5 years to the day is when I took my next
Mhm.
drink. And then I kind of teeter-tottered in 2019, and then it just went full blast. So it kind of was like coming out of, an abstinence time and then coming back into it. And I knew I didn't want to go back to heroin or opiates just because I didn't want to deal with that again. I'd rather take a nap and a sandwich than go through a week-long detox.
Yep.
And so that's just the beast that I chose. So
Wow. Now, when
yeah.
you were doing this, did you like ever OD or anything? Have any near death experiences that
I've
scared
had some.
you? Or?
I mean, if people have shot up cocaine, when you hit the moment and everything starts to go like this, like you can't stand up. And it's. I mean, it's scary, really scary. And you're like grabbing. You just start
Mhm.
like permeating sweat and grabbing the sink and whatever you're at. So that happened a couple times. I did OD on heroin. The paramedics came. I'd been out for about 40 minutes when the paramedics came. I woke up right when they walked through the door. That was in 2015. 2019,
Wow.
2020, or 2020 probably had a couple scares, maybe 3 scares of almost blowing my heart out probably on cocaine. And then in 2024 on December the 8th, yeah, December the 8th, I probably did the most cocaine I've ever done in my life. And I ended up going to the hospital. I checked myself into the hospital then and had the
Mhm.
neighbors call him. Yeah, that was the most I've ever done. I don't know how much more I could have
Wow.
done and still been alive. So, but on December 11th, I planned to do just a little bit more than that because I planned to kill myself on December 11th of 2024. And I got arrested right before that happened when I got out of my car. Cops had been following me home. Get out of my truck. They pull into my driveway and they arrest me right before I can walk into my apartment. But that was the plan on December 11th was to attempt, which would have been my second attempt in 2024, to commit suicide. So,
Oh,
or was stopped,
Wow.
but yeah, stopped before that happened. Yeah, that's a crazy story in itself. But yeah, yeah. So I've had some scares for sure, for sure.
Someone was looking out for you that day.
yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty crazy story. Like I said, my beliefs are pretty they're pretty out there with just things I've
Yeah,
experienced
mine
and things
too.
I've seen.
Don't don't
You
worry.
know,
My beliefs are too.
but yeah, definitely some other things going on for sure. That's I do believe
Yeah,
that. I haven't really honed in on how it all works and what it is, but yeah, I'll take it for what it was, and I'll I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. Not now, not today.
exactly. No, not, that's it. And here you
Yeah.
are helping other people overcome this, right? With all your motivational videos that I've watched on your
Yeah.
TikTok. You have Instagram and stuff, right?
I do have Instagram, yes, sir. Yeah, I got Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. I mean, I have Snapchat. I don't
Okay.
use it for anything, and then I have a
Mhm.
YouTube, but again, I don't use that for anything. So neither of those two platforms are used.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And like, were you ever in and out of like jails or anything like that? Or
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
Mhm.
rehabs, institutions. I went to rehab in
Yep.
2010, 2010,
Mm.
2015, 2019. All to the same rehab. Great place in Abilene, Texas, called Serenity House. I don't know if they
Okay.
still are state funded, but the whole times that I went, it was had as a state funded program as well as insurance. They have an incredible medical detox as well. Very one of the very few places in Texas that has that for people with a wait list. That if you don't have medical insurance, you can still get medical detox and then also be able to go to a treatment program. And then they have an outpatient program as well too. So I did that like I said, 2010, 2015, 2019. In
Mhm.
between that, between 2010 and 2015, I went to prison for 2 years. So I was in TDC from 2012 to 2014. I had a 4-year sentence. I did just under 2 years on that 4-year sentence, locked up. Finished the rest of it on
Mhm.
parole. And then in June of 2024, yeah, June of 2024, I think it was the 27th, June 27th to July 1st. I was in a mental institution because I attempted suicide. So yeah, we've done some jails, we've done some institutions, and we've done some rehabs for
A little
sure.
a little mixture of
Yeah, like just
everything, eh?
some sprinkling, garlic, onion powder, salt and pepper. I figured I'd just taste them all. That way, I can have a better story. I guess I don't fucking know.
That
Yeah.
that's exactly it, right?
All right. Like, fuck,
Well,
what do you
we've
have to do to
definitely
reach
all
everybody?
been,
You gotta have some common ground. I used to pray as a kid. I was like, man, God, just make my life different. And I just want to be different. And I look back now and I was like, well, that was a dumb fucking prayer. I, I should have just prayed to be normal. Shit. Like, and I don't think, like,
So,
I don't know what happened with it or whatever, but man,
yeah,
be careful what you ask for, I guess.
right. That's it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
well,
Why don't you?
everything happens for a reason, right? And maybe it
Yeah.
took all that to allow you to educate other guys and show them the right way of doing things,
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree
and
with
that
that. I
change
think
is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Change is definitely possible. I'm more of a kind of a believer on that. Everything happens for a reason, and the reason is because of our choices. I still kind of think, man, honestly,
Mhm.
that I could have learned a lot of these lessons that I had a lot sooner, not at the expense of my time, and really not at the expense of other people's times, right? Because there's a lot of hard lessons that I didn't learn at the time, and people paid the consequences for that. People that invested in me, people that said they loved me, relationships, and I ruined those things along the way, right? And that's the unfortunate part of life. I'm glad that I've learned now. I do regret having to have taken so long to learn. But
Mhm.
it's not like a negative regret. It's just like a man, I wish I would have seen and done things differently. But here we are now. Right? My story is my story. I can't change that. All I can do is share it
That's it.
in hopes that somebody doesn't go as far as me or doesn't continue to go any further, So
Yeah, we've
that's the
talked
hope.
about that. I wish I had quit a lot sooner than I had, but I try
Yeah.
not to look at the past. You can't change the past. You've changed
Yeah.
now, and
Exactly.
that's the main thing, right? And
Mm.
that's how I look
Right.
at my journey as well.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. You have any questions? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll let you go.
Oh, you let
Yeah.
me go. Okay.
That took me off guard.
It's all it's all good. Yeah. So you live in the States. We're actually located in Canada, in Ottawa.
Okay, I
So
can hear the accent. I can hear the accent. Funny
yeah,
thing when I got on TikTok.
it's funny.
Go ahead.
It's funny how we can recognize each other's accents because we can hear yours. It's an American accent, right? So
Yeah.
we have
I
that.
mean, I don't know if I would have
Yeah.
said Canada, but I definitely would have said up in the north, like Minnesota, Wisconsin, way up in Wisconsin, somewhere up in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I figured it's funny too because when I was on
Yeah.
TikTok, I guess it was about a year and a half. Well, I did a little over a year, and I started going live on TikTok. Maybe about
Yeah.
14 months ago. And the first time I ever got in trouble on TikTok, I was roasting people from Canada, and I just being silly, right? And everybody's laughing. Everybody's laughing, and then all of a sudden TikTok shuts me off.
Head.
Yeah, they cut my live, and it's like, you've been suspended on live for 3 days due to hate speech. And I sat there and thought, and I was like,
What?
I said, you know what? If you would have just read what I was saying, if you had no context and you just saw a sheet of
Yep.
paper, and on that paper was what I said with no voice inflection, no context, no nothing, definitely hate speech. You would have definitely hate speech, but it wasn't hate at all. But yeah, I always like that. That's my funny story of Canada. I got my first
That is
TikTok live
hilarious.
restriction from hate speech of Canada. And then my first podcast ever was a guy from Canada. It's called On the Throne podcast.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I forget his right now. Dick Frost is his name. Yeah, it's On the Throne, a podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, that's the first one. The first one I ever did. It was about almost a year ago now. So yeah.
Okay.
So
Damn it.
yeah, had a little
Wow.
Canada experience. I'm not allowed in Canada.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big baseball fan. I'm not going to be able to go to a Blue Jays game, which I'm kind of bummed about that. But
Jeez,
unless I want to pay a substantial visa fine because of my previous criminal history. But we'll figure it out when the day comes.
Yeah.
Once I knock out all the American stadiums.
Yeah, right, eh? Or maybe we'll be all one. Maybe we'll be the 51st state, eh?
That's true. And then the last thing I said about Canada, and then I'll answer the question is, I mean, I don't really keep up with Olympics or anything, but I forgot who won the gold medals in hockey. You know, I forget who was that. I don't remember. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, but no, I'm originally from Arlington, Texas. That's where I was born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah, Dallas, suburb of Dallas Fort Worth area. And now
Okay.
I live on the road. 2024 kind of destroyed everything.
Yep.
I destroyed everything in 2024. And I'm rebuilding in 2025 and still rebuilding. So I got a camper, I got a truck, I got an amazing job.
Nice.
But yeah, I live wherever I'm working, and currently, right now I'm over in Arizona, in Tucson, Arizona. So
Okay.
I've been
Nice,
traveling
man.
for a little while.
There's nothing
in
better
this
than that.
industry. Yeah. No,
There's nothing better than
it's
that.
not
Just
bad.
traveling the roads, man.
Yeah. Sometimes it gets a little tiring, but I mean, I guess I know I'm going in the right direction, right? And
Of course.
this is a different season in my life and a different way that I'm going about some things, and understanding that there's no quick fix. There's no patchwork. And I just keep doing what I'm doing, man, and things have just been continuing to open. And when I say doing what I'm doing, it's as simple as this: posting videos, going to the gym, and going to work. That's pretty much it.
There you go.
And everything else in the last year has just kind of just come to fruition, and then taken its own animal and life to itself, and then happened. It's been pretty wild the last 14 months of what's really happened in my life. So definitely
Sounds like a pretty
enjoyed
good
this
life.
last 14. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm extremely blessed. I'm extremely blessed to have the life that I have, especially after all the things that I've done. And in 2024, when I got arrested in my driveway on December 11th in Delaware, if those charges had stuck, and if they would have pulled me over on the street instead of waiting to arrest me in my driveway, so they never pulled me over. But if they would have pulled me over on the street, I'd be in prison right now, 100% guaranteed.
Wow.
No ifs and buts about it. But because they didn't ever pull me over, and they chose to arrest me in my driveway, some things happened because the justice system in America is the way it is, and I was a beneficiary of that, and some things didn't stick, and I was able to pay a large fine and get out of it. So
Wow.
yeah, just crazy stuff. So I'm definitely blessed to be where I'm at. I don't take it for granted. And I know the reason where I'm at, obviously, is because of hard work from me, but it's definitely because of people that follow me on social media, which I call my family. I know that's a main component of things that have happened for me and the opportunities that I've had. People with a larger backing sometimes have a little bit more opportunity, and I've just done some crazy things. So I'm extremely thankful for people that support me and follow me on social media, and then I'm extremely proud of myself. And I think I can say that. I think people should be proud of themselves. So
Yeah, for sure, man. No, that's
yeah,
absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. Well, you're helping a lot of people, and this reward that you're getting now is due to that. So,
Yeah, and you're getting
right,
back the blessings, man. That's it.
right, yeah.
Yep.
So
That's awesome, man.
yes, sir.
Yeah. You got anything to say? Yeah.
just future plans for you? You're just going to continue to make the videos and travel around and make a difference in people's lives.
I mean, I got crazy aspirations. This is a continuous step in podcasts. I'd love to be on Bunny's podcast, or I'd love to be on Theo Vaughn podcast eventually, somehow, some way. The
Yep.
pinnacle of podcasts, right?
Of
I
course.
just talked to a lawyer yesterday, so I'm in the process of trademarking and patenting and owning my brand, which you guys have asked about, which is Radical Movement. So that part's in
Yes.
the process.
I was just actually going to ask you about that.
Yeah, so that's in the process. So I talked to a lawyer yesterday, so they're doing some work on that with the logo that I've submitted and going through that. So hopefully I'll hear back in about a week, and then we'll file everything. If everything comes back good, and I'll at least have that started. Then the next process would be to get an LLC and go through the process of that. I get really overwhelmed with a lot of stuff, especially when I've never done
Hmm.
things before. So
Of course.
I
Of course.
prolong a lot of things. Just the way my mind works, I
Mhm.
can get real overwhelmed. And even just talking about it right now, I can feel the overwhelmness to it. But that's one thing. I kind of just want to still just have things happen naturally, and not press or push too much on stuff. That the door is going to open when it's supposed to open, and the opportunities are going to kind of just, as long as I'm going down the path, the opportunity is going to be there. Not that I have to seek it out, not that I have to force it, not that it's going to have to find me. I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but it's just more of just me walking down the path. It's not that I find it, it's that I arrive there.
Exactly.
So
You know what?
that's
It's
kind
funny you say that because I'm on the exact same thing as you. I'm
yeah.
just following that path. The path,
Yeah.
whatever's taken me down, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, is just guiding me, you know?
Right.
So,
And that's
Yeah,
just
and
what I
we're
gotta stay
real
focused
new
on.
at this,
Go
taking
ahead.
it step by step in the same kind of sense, and just trying to go on the journey and help some guys along the way. And when we started this, neither one of us had ever spoke in front of a camera, so it was
Oh,
something
hell
that we
yeah.
had to get used to quick, and yeah, and just kind of go with the flow.
Heck yeah.
Started reading off papers, and it was pretty ugly the first couple times, but yeah, the further
Man,
we go,
practice,
the
you just
better
gotta
it
keep
gets.
going after it. You just gotta keep going after
That's
it.
that's
it.
that's
Yeah.
exactly it, Jaron.
We
Yep.
knew it was
Yeah.
helping people, so we put ourselves in that uncomfortable position, and we knew that in the future it would get better with time. So,
That's
and
it.
the response we've got and being able to speak with people like yourself has been amazing, and it truly is a huge help for the guys, and that's what this has been about
Yeah.
from the beginning. So,
Hmm.
Yeah. So the mission statement for Radical Movement is the mission statement is simple. It's turn pain into purpose, share hope through honesty, and prove
Hmm.
that one heartbeat helping another can save a life. And that's my big commission to people. A lot of people say, "Thank you, you saved my life," or "You don't know how much you did for me. You saved me, you changed me." And I always revert people back to themselves, because
Hmm.
I don't think that we can do anything for someone. Now, having somebody cheer
Yep.
for you from the sideline definitely helps, right? When you're
Hmm.
tired, when you're exhausted,
Yep.
and you have someone saying you can keep going, like a partner or whatever it is, that definitely helps. But at the end of the day, you
Hmm.
still got to do it all. And I'm a big believer that everybody experiences darkness, and darkness can come in
Yeah.
different scenarios, different situations, whether it's addiction of any kind, right? And I'm not just talking drug addiction, any kind of addiction. You lose a family due to infidelity, or a loss of a death of a loved one, and become a widow, or you lose a child suddenly, unexpectedly. You lose a sibling. You have mental health issues outside of addiction that cause you to attempt suicide, whatever it is, right? And I don't like to be a pessimist or a cynic, but darkness is coming. And we've all
Hmm.
gone through it. We've all had dark
Yep.
moments, but we're still here.
Yep.
So I tell people that we're
Yeah.
undefeated in that sense. As much as we might have think that
Hmm.
we messed up or stumbled or fell or fucked it all off, we're still here. And there's a lot of people that aren't here still. There's a lot of
Yep.
people that are no longer with us. 5.6 people a day in an hour. 5.6 people an hour commit suicide in America, and 4.5
Hmm.
of those people are men. And
Yep.
so my reach is that your heartbeat and your purpose and your story is literally going to be the reason that somebody else chooses to stay. But if you don't share
That's
your
yeah.
story, if you don't talk about what
Yep.
you've been through or are going through, because sometimes I don't know about you guys, but I kind of think that you lose a little bit of, I don't want this to sound bad, you lose a little bit of gloss every day that you gain from where you've been.
Yep.
You
Yep.
kind of forget to a sense of the struggle and the depravity and the depth of what I was in the further it goes along. I have to go back and kind of ground myself a little bit more to really remember, oh my God, I was fucking out of there. And so
Yep.
sometimes you get a lot more rawness and realness in that day 2, day 5, day 7. But so many people say you can't share yet. You're not ready. It's only been 7 days. At least have this amount of
Mhm.
time. At least have this amount of time. And I hate that. I think that's the biggest load of bullshit ever. It doesn't matter how long you've changed. It matters that you have changed. And the choice that you just made now
Exactly.
is who you are. It's not the choices that you've made before. It's the current choice that you just made. So if the current choice you just made was no longer to participate in bullshit, then you're no longer a bullshitter until
Yep.
you make the next choice to participate in it. But as long as you just keep making those choices, your story is going to radically and drastically change somebody's life. And that's really the mission of Radical Movement, is to get people to share in the darkness, knowing that they don't have to bring light back to people to lead them out, that the voice can be a messenger and a carrier in the dark for us to crawl our way through and forward.
That's
So,
amazing. Yeah, and that
yeah.
so resonates with exactly what we're doing, like basically brothers, doing that and getting people's voices out there,
Yeah.
for other men to to hear and want to heal within themselves, right?
Yeah, and I think that people need to be a little more supportive of people. You
Yep.
have the status quo people of like, it's all these addicts, they just want to be applauded for they finally got their life together and they finally quit doing drugs and congratulations. And to a little degree I kind of, I can agree with that, right? Like,
Mm.
it is a normal saying of society, and as a productive person, as a 38-year-old man, and the way I came up, I don't have excuses. I shouldn't be participating in that shit. You're right.
Yep.
Right? But again,
Yep.
my scars and my flaws and my fuck ups, they're not to impress the perfect. They're not even to impress the healed. They're really
Mhm.
just to show the broken that healing is possible. And that
That's
at any
exactly it.
moment, no matter how bloodied, how beaten, how far gone you may think you are, healing can still take place. And it doesn't have
For
to wait
sure.
till tomorrow. It can start now.
That's right.
Yep. That's
So,
so great, man. Yep.
yeah.
That's awesome. Uh, what would you say to say a guy that's having struggles?
I ask the same I would say, one, what do you enjoy about it, really? And then I would ask the person,
Hmm.
how much more do you want to lose? How
Yeah.
much more do you want to lose? I would ask the person, what do they enjoy about it? Because I want some people to be honest, right? And again, the way I view it and how my thoughts on it doesn't mean that I'm right. It's just how I see it. And I think a lot of the times accountability lacks. This is just my opinion. But when we put off our issues on whatever it is outside of us, a sickness, a disease, way that we grew up, right? We still are not fully taking, in my opinion, full accountability.
You're exactly
And
right. I
so,
was just gonna say that.
yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
big, big, big on the accountability. Maybe I did have a
Hmm.
disease, maybe I don't have a disease. And again, like I said, there's a whole bunch of semantics, and I'm not going to go into all of that of my thoughts of any of that of the money side. I'm not going to do it, right? So I'll just stop right there. But
Yep. Yep.
I think you got to own it, right? And like I told y'all at the
Of
very
course.
beginning of this, my track record shows me this when I look at it. And this is what I had to do in this last year. I said I loved a lot of people, and maybe I did, and I might have, into the
Hmm.
ability of what I could. But at the end of the day, I didn't love them more, because if I loved them
Hmm.
more, I would have stopped. If I loved me more to be healthy, I would have stopped. But I love drugs the most. And so when
Yeah.
I said that, it's like, okay, you know what? Okay, I love that. Now what do I do? How do I find love in me? How do I start finding love for other things then? Well, how do I go through this and move away from that? So I really, people ask us like, what would you, and I've had this question before, what would you say to somebody that's thinking about getting treatment, or they're sober curious, or they've been teetering back and forth, and they're wanting to get help, but they don't know if they want to get help? And I wouldn't, I don't know if I would just give advice. I would just tell you that, man, it never got better for me until I stopped, ever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Never did. And the more stuff that I had was just the more stuff that I lost. That was it. And the more stuff that I had was just the more pain that I caused until I finally stopped. So the question I would just ask is, how much more do you want to lose? And I don't want to, you, we're playing Russian roulette. You know,
Mhm.
I guess I was fortunate to be a heroin addict in 2000 and shit, when I stopped. So I kind of stopped doing heroin. I went to treatment in 2010, got out, went back to prison because I was on heroin, got out of prison, and then I relapsed on heroin in 2014 for like 8 weeks, 6 weeks. That's when I OD'd. And then I got on methadone. So in 2015, I went back to treatment for methadone and a cocaine addiction that I could not stop banging and blasting cocaine. I don't care if I was
Mhm.
buying a 10 sack or a 30 sack or a $7 sack, whatever it was. If I could get it to do one more shot, like I just couldn't stop or didn't want to stop. I just was just balls to the wall. But I guess if I would have used heroin like I did from 2010 to 2012, now when I just got clean in 2025, that would have been from 23 to 25. If that would have been heroin instead of methamphetamine, most likely I wouldn't be alive with the stuff they put in everything now
Mhm.
and all of that. So I guess kind of lucky, but I mean, with people using drugs now, it's like we don't ever know. We don't know when the last one's going to be the last one. And we think obviously it's never going to happen, but it happens all the time. I mean, it literally
Yep.
happens all the time. And so you might not, I mean, it's not just losing stuff, you could lose your life. And, I would tell other people too is that look, man, if I would say this, if you're going to get clean and stop doing drugs to live and I don't want to say anything bad, but to live some normal life and doing just
Mhm.
the bare minimum and be proud that you stopped doing drugs, and that's the pinnacle of your life right there, then I think you're going to have a real hard time being happy and sustaining that. Because drug addicts, I never wanted to be fucking normal. And addiction isn't normal. It's
Mhm.
pushing the elements and everything. And so if you're gonna stop, I would say don't why settle for basic? If you're gonna stop, from my experience, you can have and do whatever the fuck you want. Rise to the top, shine in front of people that thought you would never be anything other than dull, and prove everybody wrong that has won betting on you to fail. Make those motherfuckers
Mhm.
go broke, you know? Make
Exactly.
those fuckers
Yeah,
go
that's an
broke.
awesome way of putting it.
That is it is.
I've
Because
tried
I
to
don't know
do the
about you
same
guys,
thing.
right? I don't know about y'all, but I made people rich off of me. Metaphorically,
Uh-huh.
if I was a gambling person or if I was a thing you could bet on, motherfuckers got rich off of me betting on me to fail. Like they would have been swimming in it, And the people that would have bet on me like my father for years that bet on me to succeed, in a sense, went broke. And one day I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of that. Like, I'm
Mhm.
tired of making other people rich. It's like, I'm going to be rich. And not the sense of money wise, but like
Mhm.
successful or not failing to the degree that I am. And, I would just say that anybody can do that. Anybody
Uh,
can.
yep. Yep. Yeah,
Um,
you're absolutely right on
Yeah, you
that.
just have to make that decision. And
It's a mindset. The
yeah,
mindset, right?
that's why you can't get anybody to quit that's not ready or hasn't set it in their head that that's what they want. They want that different life and they don't want to be a part of that life of drugs anymore. And
Yep.
absolutely.
yeah,
I think there's
it's such a huge step.
I was talking about this the other day and on TikTok live, but I'm not going to remember it now.
Mhm.
To the degree that I did. I don't know. Sometimes I say things on live and I'm like, holy shit, that was good. I need to write that down. And then I never write it down and I forget. But I think there's like three different types of people is when I said this, that people that get clean. And some of them I don't think are ready, right? They just get clean because they know I have a problem. Life is falling apart. And they go and get clean or stop drinking, whatever it is, sober, clean, blah, 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 whatever, right? Only to get back what was falling apart with the sole intention and purpose of eventually going back to drinking or going back to
Mhm.
drugs, right? That's only a
Yep.
moment because they know they have a problem, whether it's court or a relationship, or they're just aware of it and they're like, holy shit, right? And then there's two other people or whatever. I did not change. I was just talking about this today, actually. I didn't stop. There was a few reasons why I stopped drinking and stopped doing drugs. And I'm gonna be one, it was not this time, it was not like I have a really big problem. It was one of the main reasons is my ex-fiance, who's to me still my best friend. She called me one day. We hadn't talked in a long time. I think she called me or texted me, and she said that she had quit drinking. And she didn't have a problem with drinking. And again, her story is not my story, so I'm not going to share her story. Okay. I'll just simply
Mhm.
say that she said that she was done drinking. And I remember hanging up the phone and I said, and at this time, we're not together. This is post attempted suicide. I think this is early 2025. This is before I quit drinking. And she said that, and I was like, bitch, fuck, you're not gonna fucking live your fucking best life in front of me. Like, I'm fucking done drinking too, motherfucker, then. I'm done, right? I'm not doing that shit. Fuck, if you're gonna quit, I'm not letting you beat me. No way. I'm not gonna be the fool in this. So I quit, and then I drank one more time, and I used one more time. And I remember that next day, some things happened. Some really crazy
Mhm.
things happened on April 26th of 2025. And
Mhm.
I remember just thinking, if she called me right now for help, I couldn't help her. And I said, this is never going to happen again. I'll never not be able to answer the phone for her. That was one thing. Another thing that kind of happened is last year at this exact time, I was raising money to go to Australia. I had this crazy idea that I was going to get 3,500 people to send me 75 cents, and that was going to pay for a trip
Okay.
to Australia. Yes. And I ended up raising $14,000 and went to Ireland. Australia denied me my visa. And that process changed my life. The
Mm.
people that sewed into that and believed in me made me all of a sudden say, like, I can't let these people down. And for me, I liked that. It's not like an
Mhm.
overwhelming weight. It was finally like, holy shit, I have purpose. Like I have
Yes.
meaning.
Yeah.
Like I have a story. Like people believe in me. Not people
Yep.
support me. And it was like my whole life I always said I always would say this. I just need somebody to see my potential, not my past. And I
Mhm.
need them to invest in my potential, which is what an addict always says, right? Like just see
Mhm.
what I could be and then I will be, as opposed to making me be so that I could be, right? It's like you know what I'm capable of, but obviously my past isn't showing me anything, right? And I'm just
Mhm.
what day is it today? June 10th? Is that today? Is that what today is?
Yes, it is. It's the 10th. Yep.
All right, so we were 6.5 weeks in last year to being free of drugs and alcohol. And people are sending me money at a rapid rate to go to another country for a trip because I want to tell people and show people that anything is possible and that my life has changed. And people said, we'll help you. And that moment changed my life. It went from just like, you know what, maybe I'll go back to drinking and da 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 to realizing like anything is possible. So
Mhm.
like I don't know. I'd known I had a problem, especially when I was full blown in addiction. Obviously, I've been to treatment. Obviously, I've been to prison. Obviously, I know I just tried to kill myself twice in 2024. Like things aren't working very well. But I can't find purpose. I'm just having times of abstinence. And finally, when I started writing poetry and started sharing and started not giving a fuck what people thought about my cringe videos or me being goofy or
Mhm. Yep.
flamboyant motherfuckers would say, or whatever it is, not giving a fuck
Yep.
and just being me and falling in love with myself. I realized
Yes,
that
just being
life on
your
this other
authentic self,
side,
right?
yeah, life on the other side is so much fucking better than
Right.
anything I've ever anticipated or could have wrote. Like I have some posts to talk about like what I've done this last year, and it blows my mind still. I'm writing a
Mhm.
book right now. It's called Radical Movement Year 2: The Comeback Continues. And
That's
I wanted to
awesome.
write a book on year one. And the concept of this book is 365 chapters, and each chapter is a day. And me and ChatGPT are writing this book. And
Okay,
but I
nice.
didn't.
Nice.
I did not do it in year one. And I got and I
Uh-huh.
when I picked when I did my 1 year, and I was like, man, do you know, if I would have wrote that fucking book, like that would have been if I would have been raw 1,000%, no holds back, everything that happens in that day. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about like right before I go to bed. You know what I mean? Like, or like, you know
Yep,
what I mean? I
yep.
don't want to be too like, right? But like, I'm talking like if I'm hanging out with a chick, I'm talking no holds bar when I lie, when I'm deceitful, because addiction, just because you quit doing drugs doesn't mean you're a fucking great person still, right? They're like, you're still
Yeah, yeah, of
going
course.
through things. And I was like, man, it would have been a crazy book. All the stuff that's happened. I said, I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm tired of waiting. And that's kind of like what I did with my giveaways. I've done 3 giveaways since September 27th, one on September 27th, one on December 21st, and one on May 2nd. And I asked people to partner $1. And so far, we've given away
Okay.
$18,647 to random strangers,
Wow.
completely
That's
random in Walmart
awesome,
parking
man.
lot. So
That is
just
Wow.
that, if I was to write
Amazing.
about, yeah. I mean, this is just crazy stuff. Sponsored by Kill Crew Gym Apparel. I'm a sponsored athlete by them. I have a sunglass sponsorship. I've gone to Ireland. I've gone to Germany. Just crazy stuff. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to write a book. So I'm writing a book now, and that's that. And it's just like, I mean, guys, I don't know about y'all, but do you ever
Yeah.
just be like, holy shit, I can't believe this is my life?
Yeah. you got
For sure, every
you get
day.
overwhelmed sometimes. You're like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's even just
amazing.
like the little things too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of just like, it's like, oh my God, I can't, like, I had a seminar for my company last week, and it was my first corporate motivational speaking event that I've ever done. Now, again, it was for my company, but still, it's a corporate company, and I spoke on mental health and blue collar work field, and I had a presentation and everything. So, put that pat on the back resume, right? But I went
Yeah.
and had dinner with one of my coworkers, and one of my good friends that I've had now a friendship with, worked with him at 2 job sites since I've been back. And I got done and I was writing my chapter of my book, and I was just like, I had dinner with a friend and we talked about things other than fucking, sports, and drinking. We didn't drink. There was no alcohol. He doesn't drink.
Mhm.
We didn't. He's married. He's got a wife, 3 kids. We talked about work. We talked about integrity. We talked about being better bosses. How do we make people want to stay with us as a company to be able to work with us? Where do we grow? Where do we become better men? And I just remember I got back to the hotel and I was like, I don't know when that's ever happened in my life. Like, and I think the
Wow.
more you get time away from doing the shit, you realize it's like, holy crap, like simple little things like that, I find just the most rewarding still though too. It's like, I don't know, sometimes I can get just really overwhelmed with gratitude and emotion in the simplistic thing of being able to have dinner with a friend and have a conversation that's wholesome with a person you trust and not I don't know, you know what I mean?
It's ironic. We actually did that this evening
That
before the
is funny.
podcast.
Yeah, listening to him say that.
Yeah,
And,
hearing you talk about that, we
yeah.
actually met up with a friend, new friend at the Montanas, and
Yeah.
just sat and had a nice conversation. And yeah, it was real
It
great,
was.
great time,
It was
great
amazing.
dinner, and
Yeah.
yeah, went really well. So it's funny that you brought that up.
Yeah, and it's like it's talking about real life stuff, not we
Yeah.
didn't talk about sports, and I love sports.
Yep.
We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about entertainment.
Mhm.
We talked about, like I said, like I want a family one day. What's it like being a dad? Like, tell me your proudest moments, right? Like, how do you think you want to grow as a leader? What areas, and trying to be a better. I'm not gonna say trying to be a better person. Trying to grow
Yes.
into a and have a good foundation. I don't know about better people, worse people, or anything like that. Just trying to grow myself in healthy, positive ways, and I think that's one of the coolest things too of being clean and being sober. I say free,
Hmm.
but also too, I think you guys probably get it too. It's like I do this for me, right? Because I take care of me. And out of that, people have said that me helping me helps them,
Hmm.
which that
Yep.
affirmation and that confirmation then helps me. And one of the things as an addict is like, we just want to be appreciated, or a person that has an addiction. We just want to be appreciated. And, you know, drugs, I was talking about this the other day, drugs love me. They did. And if I put it as
Hmm.
a person, it loved me, but it just wanted all of me to let me give it to everything and take everything. But it was jealous, it was envious, right?
Yep.
And it did. So but it gave me something as like I don't know, in this weird, tormented, demented fucking thought. And so when I changed my life, I still need that. I still want people to tell me that they're proud of me or that they love me or that I'm doing something that's worthy. And I found that when I share my story, and you guys probably can attest to this too, sharing y'all's and being there for people, you get all of this confirmation back that what you're doing is helping people. And then that helps you. And it gives you this, I'm not going to say it gives you a complex or whatever, but it makes you feel good about yourself. And that is something that for me was a very rare thing. There's very few and far between that I ever looked in the mirror and I was like, man, I'm proud of what I've done. You know, it was always like, man, I lied. Like, I'm not like, I'd look in the mirror and I'm like, when's it gonna fucking crumble?
Hmm.
Like, how long can this seesaw fucking, how long can I hold this fucking shit up? Because it's gonna fucking break
Yeah,
because I'm lying to everybody. It
exactly.
can't last forever, you know? And
Nope.
it's like such a freedom to be able to be told that what you're doing is affecting people, helping people. And then
Right.
also you see the fruits of your own life.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
your life,
we get that all the time. People are just like, this is amazing what you guys are doing. And, it's so heartwarming. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
and just 6 months ago, this wasn't even in our thought train. Like, it's amazing how things changed, right?
Hmm.
absolutely.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
Yep.
Y'all should write a book.
Amazing. Yes. Right. I've been thinking about it actually.
I'm telling
he's
you,
definitely been
I had
talking
a
about
really
it. We've
good
had some
friend.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really good friend tell me that every person has 3 books inside of them. This was a long time ago. I did a while back, 2007 to 2009, from the age of 19 to 21. I did Christian missionary work. No one ever believes that,
Hmm.
especially when I tell people my thoughts of things now. But I did Christian missionary
Yeah.
work with a group called YWAM, and one of my leaders told me that every person has 3 books inside of them. And I was like, I don't even know how to write a book. I could, like, what do you thought? How do you have 3 books? And now I'm like, maybe everybody does have more than even 3 books. Y'all should write a book.
The Chat GPT thing hit a chord in me when you mentioned that, and I was like,
Yeah,
Yes. Right. Because
"Damn, that's a good idea."
yeah, I've been thinking about it too, really,
Yeah,
because I've thought, I was like, how can I write a book? But
yeah,
you can just write your whole story in Chat GPT, right? And then it'll
yeah,
just
it'll pretty
totally
it up
change
for
it
you.
all up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and you got to train it and stuff. But like, I don't even type
Yeah.
on it. I just voice the text,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then I literally just go through my day. And if I mess up, then I'm like, okay, well, this happened actually earlier, and just literally go through it. And then she kind of, it's a she, just so y'all know. She kind of
Yeah.
spits it out, and she spits it out for me, and I read it over, and sometimes I change some stuff, and I'm like, no, I don't like how
Yep.
that was or whatever, and then we go back. But yeah, just literally, it's literally a synopsis of my day from start to finish.
Yeah.
it's
So you guys are
amazing.
going to be on
Definitely
chapter
inspiring.
44. Today is chapter 44. It started, I think it's chapter 44.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. So
yeah.
so
So you
so,
guys are in
so
the,
we're in
you
the
guys
book.
are on it.
Maybe we're gonna
Yeah,
make
y'all
the
are in the
book.
book.
Yeah,
Yeah, y'all are in the
yeah,
book.
That's amazing.
Yeah. The
Awesome.
book's being written
That's
right
awesome.
now as we speak. We still got, a little ways to go. We still got
Yep.
320 days, but it's gonna
Oh
get
well.
there.
Chapter 44 is basically Brothers, the Canadian guys with the accent.
There it is.
Right.
There it is.
That's awesome.
So,
Well, I
yeah.
want to. Well, we both want to thank you for coming on here, Jaron. And
Man, it's been an
why don't you
honor,
give us
man.
your handles, like your TikTok and all that stuff, so the
Yeah, so
viewers
I
can
think,
follow you.
yeah, my Instagram is the original Jaron Lyle.
Okay.
TikTok is gonna be lip singing Jaron Lyle.
Okay.
Facebook, I don't know the handle, but I do know that Instagram and Facebook, the account is verified. So it's the
Okay.
blue check mark. There's a lot of scam profiles, but on
Hmm.
Instagram and Facebook, it's blue verified, and on TikTok, it's the one with 300 something thousand. And it's you'll see a bunch of posts on it, but it's lip singing Jaron Lyle. So, yeah, those are the
Cool.
3 handles. Yeah,
Awesome, man. Well, we want to thank you, man, and
Yeah, we definitely appreciate
yeah,
you taking the time. And like I said, we've both been inspired by your videos, and it's amazing that we can talk to you on the podcast, to somebody that we've watched and
mhm,
that has helped us through our troubled times. And it's amazing to come to today and be talking to you and you helping the guys and
yeah,
helping us. And it's amazing on our journey. So,
and keep going forward on your journey, man. You're changing
I
lives.
appreciate
You
it.
really are.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
And that's a I know that really hit just then. For somebody to say that they watched me and then they asked me to be a part of something still blows my mind. So I want to say thank you
Yeah.
to you
Yeah.
guys. Like, this is,
Yeah.
like, I don't know for other people, but for me, this is literally the coolest thing ever. This is like, I
Yeah.
love this. I wish I could do it
Yes.
every day, all day, right? Like, this,
It's
for me, this is
amazing,
the
isn't it?
coolest thing ever. So for you guys to ask me to be a part of it, trust
Yes.
me, to put me in front of
Yep.
y'all's audience that y'all have built, people that trust
Yep.
you guys, is a tremendous honor and a very big privilege. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. Y'all are making my dreams continue to come true. So
Oh.
thank you guys.
That's amazing.
Amazing, brother.
We'll definitely have to do it again. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. We'll have to finish it off when the book finishes.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that too, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. We'll knock it out of the
Awesome,
park again.
Well, you have a great night, and yeah.
Thank you guys. Yeah, bless you
All
guys.
right,
Thank
buddy.
y'all so
Thank
much.
you.
Yes.
We'll
you
talk to y'all
too.
later.